electricity.
Brilliant answer. What about
And
Dr.
I also...
Panchadri? Why can't each human being be asked to generate a part of the energy by exercising? Is that what I got your question? Is that what you said?
I have a little bit more left. That's a question.
Tell us.
And I'd like to just say my name. It's Ushoshi Banerjee from Lower Today School, Shialda. And my question is, in reality, all these conferences are being attended by the environmentalists and the people who are already aware of climate change, and if not so much aware, at least have the idea of the consequences. But the bigger masses, the people on the street, they are not aware of it. Leonardo DiCaprio gives a speech about climate change at the Oscars, but that's not going to help the mass to realize the consequences they're about to face. Will that really help to bring about the change, the revolutionary change we are really talking about?
All of you.
Bravo. We need you. We want to work with you. This was very good. Actually, I think indeed, maybe I wanted to come this a bit later, but maybe I jump a little earlier to this. I think we have to plan indeed. Should strategize before we close. What would be the next steps with this one here? I mean, and how we could work together. Because indeed, I think, I just pointed it out previously, we have to help people accountable. It's not that we are living in a box. I mean, indeed, we have had a chance to learn about climate change. We have the chance to be here now. We are exchanging here, but indeed, we have to bring this message out. On the other hand, today, I don't think we have many representatives from the administration, from government today here. But there are setups, there are strategies for climate change adaptation. They have been formulated over the years, and they foresee actually action. So we have to somehow bring our good examples we just heard this afternoon and use these channels and help people accountable to use these good models. Because if we're only talking, as you rightly pointed out, to the converted, it's not enough. We have to reach out and build a movement. Like, you came a bit late, but we heard it earlier, this energy transition, it worked out because at one point in time, the people said, fed up, we don't want nuclear energy anymore. And they went to the streets and they fought for it. So I don't want to make it radical, but I think we should really have these coordination platforms not at the conference only today, but there are channels for this one. There's something called interagency group, which brings together NGOs and meet actually quite regularly. And this should be debated at least once a month, and the dialogue needs to continue. And please, if you have in your schools environmental clubs, or you who are here are interested in contributing to this, come to the UNICEF office here in Kolkata. We can host such a meeting. We do already sometimes. And let's debate this not only here, but also in the future.
Only as an individual, you can definitely become energy efficient, and you don't waste energy. And you can also generate, in fact, we are all generating energy. And this is renewable energy. But this muscle power and other things are highly unproductive, It cannot be compared with the machines. So that's why we don't use. Earlier days, we were using muscle power. Now we don't use because this is very inefficient. But I tell you one small thing before I conclude. That is, now people are wearing solar jackets. And in the jacket itself, we have distributed here the jacket paper. There are, solar cells. They are getting, from that they are getting cool air, and which is just keeping their body cool and other things. So like that, they are also generating electricity. So you can generate electricity while walking and everywhere, even other activities also. But it may not be able to compete with the, high capacity machine because the efficiency level is very high. So maybe in future, a lot of challenges are there, a lot of research work going on. Days will come when people will generate their own energy, and at that time, really,
my only answer to you would be, I'll ask for more names and more things. My only answer would be, I think all of us need to be part of the change. And we have to stop saying somebody else will tell us. Our job is to do what we do. But you're intelligent, you read. If you can practice this change, You practice it, and then you take the answer forward. You spread it to your friends as well. I think we all need to stop pointing fingers at each other and saying, you need to tell me. I don't need to tell you. You need to be the change now, just as I need to be the change now. And I think that's what will help us to change tomorrow. More voices. Oh, I will require, yes, some help now. Okay, yeah, sorry. She's had the mic for a while. I'll give it next you. Yes.
I'm Srinati Ghosh from Loreto Day School, Dharamtala, and I would like to hold up the point that the renewable sources of power, which we often come across, like solar power and tidal energy and wind energy, they are not always constant. Like we can't get them in a regular. They are not regular.
Not constant sources of energy, intermittent. Yes.
And so right now, we're at the stage where industrialization is taking place at a very fast pace. The non-renewable sources and often the most polluting sources like coal, petroleum, etc. These are our ready answer to our energy needs at the moment. So how can like each of them have their pros and cons, and so how can the government bring about a change in their attitude towards these projects which they take about to promote renewable energy, and how can we as the people at the grassroots level help in inculcating the habit of using renewable energy?
You are partially correct, but you are not correct. You see, renewable energy, there are different. You mentioned tidal is a renewable energy source, but tidal is highly predictable. You know, it's not like solar. Solar and wind, these are intermittent in nature, but not biomass, not small hydro, not tidal. So forget about tidal, small hydro, waste to energy, they are highly reliable. 75% we call plant load factor. So it is like coal. But for solar and wind, yes, our potential is very high, but these are intermittent. You need very good storage system. And unfortunately, worldwide, storage system is not there. Though now you have seen the lithium ion batteries are coming. Similarly, water storage, we have discussed about Purulia pump storage scheme. A lot of research works are going on to really, make solar and wind reliable power. So you are to do research work to really make solar and wind reliable. But other renewables are highly reliable and highly predictable. So don't confuse. But yes, we have to do a lot of research on storage system, and throughout the world we are doing that.
I just want to add, I'm from Germany and we have a lot of changing weather. Even there you can predict more or less because between the regions you will have some differences and you can balance it out. And I think for India, one of the large advantages for countries like India is, today the sun is shining, tomorrow the sun is shining, the day after the sun is shining. Solar actually is very predictable in these countries. Some months you will not have sun, and it's changing as we have heard because of climate change. But still, solar is very predictable. And by balancing out the different renewable energy sources, it can be managed. But you're absolutely right that it has to be thought of in the beginning and the government has to take care of it.
I'm Roshni Sain from Namatni Girls. My question is for Koncholi. Sir, I have read about the solar domes that you've been implementing in the slums of Kolkata, and you mentioned that each such dome costs rupees 500. I have a similar solution to the same problem, and my solution costs less than rupees 50. So I was wondering if you would consider my solution as well.
Very good. That is very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will be very much interested to interact with you. But mind it, dream is something and working with the people in real life is totally different. So you are very young. So when you work with the people, they will find out always fault.
So we have
Dr. Koncholi, unless she has a dream, there will be no work either. So I think that's what the solution is.
Dr. Koncholi, I would like to point out that she is one of our change makers. She and her brother Sabyasachi did this a liter of light project in India, in Kolkata, and they have been fixing it with bleaching powder and thing. and going round to the slums again with apologies and fitting it up for them. So they have started small, but no doubt in the right direction.
That one.
I'm Fatima Ahmed from Loyalty School, Bobazar. Here the students or other like individuals, we do some kind of work like recycle, reuse or anything, and we are trying our best from a small point of view. But the most frustrating thing is that when the developed countries are not doing what they have to do, how do you plan on making them do that? Like United States, they are not working. So how do you think they are going to work? It's not like our prime minister is going to tell them that, sir, you should do it. And the president will tell, oh yes, of course, don't worry, I'm going to do it. So how do you expect they are going to work?
Very well said, Fatima. Very well said. I will ask the representatives of the developed countries to answer this.
I just spoke, so I just have a short comment. The developed countries, sometimes it's also, you're right, the question is very valid. How do we want to push those who are not acting at the moment? And I have no answer for that at the moment, actually. Unless it's the youth and the civil society in these countries who have to also push their governments. But we just heard also before that some Western countries, like Sweden, we have heard, they are doing their share, and some of them are doing actually pretty good. So there's also hope that some of the developed countries, without having to be pushed too hard, are doing their part of the job, but you're absolutely right.
Hi, everybody. I'm from the United States of America. It's been an interesting couple of days here for quite a few opinions. I'm really happy about that question because I've been wanting to say this the last 2 days. As an American, will you please forgive me on behalf of my country for the sense of greed, the abuse of the environment, and everything else? And I mean that seriously, actually. I'm not joking. Obviously, it's a bit fun, but I am, I haven't lived in the United States for 20 years, but I grew up there until I was 18, and my family still lives there. And, as we mentioned here, we talk about developed countries. There's more than just America as a developed country, but we are obviously the nation that is most visible and is also, abused a lot that we have. Yeah, and as an American, and many Americans carry a level of grief and shame about that. If you're not aware of that, it's true. You meet people, hopefully like me, that what I aspire to be is someone who's trying to give back, not just to my own nation, but to others. I think like as Vincent, right? Vincent said, I don't have all the answers to that. I'm not a politician. I think that, many of us that are here, we've talked about the different faiths that are represented. You can pray for them to change. I think also something that's very important to understand is that greed ultimately leads to destruction. And as you are greedy, you ultimately destroy yourself. My country's in a very, very dangerous and scary place right now. Make no mistake about it, what you see on international news about the United States, it's scary what's going on with the upcoming elections and the instability that's coming. People that I know in the United States, people that I know in positions of leadership in the United States are scared. That's what's happening. And I do believe that it is a product of the greed that we've walked out, because in what you see internationally, that's often how we've acted towards the people within our own nation as well, because it's often been, those the haves who've mistreated the have-nots. My greatest point with all that is don't do that yourselves. Sunita mentioned earlier, we must not be, you said of India, we must not be another America. And I was obviously, there's a level of grief in my heart when I hear that, but I don't disagree. Don't be like that. Give back and be generous to one another in the nations around you, because that has potential to bring long-term change to your nation and continue that change. We've benefited in my country, but I really fear that that benefit will end perhaps in my lifetime.
Question now, last from the front table. Whoever gets the mic, last question.
Good afternoon, panel members. I'm Sanjana Malik from Sri Shakan School. It is a very simple question. I would just like to ask you that how can we use the hot springs, for example, the Mokreshwar hot spring as an alternate source of energy?
Hot springs as an alternate source of energy.
You know, geothermal energy. So it's very much under use. You know, we are not in India, but in other countries there are 100 megawatt. In Kenya, if you go, you'll find a 100 megawatt station, geothermal station. So there is that type of technology available, but since there is no time, we can discuss it outside. Okay, during tea time. Okay.
Okay, so I think we need to give the panelists a very big hand.
A huge round of applause, please, for this eminent panel. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. I think we will proceed into the valedictory session. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, Jayantuda. Thank you, Vincent. Sir, আপনি একটু থাকবেন, আপনাকে একটু, because we did not meet you yesterday. Yeah. So we just take 1 second. May I call upon Father Franklin Menezes, please? Yeah, Father, would you please honor Dr. Gonchodri on our behalf? Ma'am, please don't run away. We have work with you also. We have business to settle with you. Yeah. So, no, keep it. Sir, sit there. Okay. So, yes. So that is the Franklin Menezes, Director of Seva Kendra, one of the co-hosts of this event, who's presenting to the Solar Man of India, Dr. S.P. Gonchodri. Yesterday, a lot of media people came expecting to do an interview with Doctor, but unfortunately he was not there. So they had to contend with lesser mortals like us. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much. A pleasure to have you in our midst. And now, for the lady who captivated every mind, every heart in this audience, let's hear it for Sunita Narayan. Thank you very much, ma'am, for coming. Thank you. Thank you very much. And girls, boys, at tea break, you can catch her outside and, really question her. Thank you. And now we will enter into this valedictory session, which is the last session. It lasts for about 15 minutes. Yeah. So we have composed a theme song for this National Conference on Climate Change. And it is put together by a very young musician, a young and upcoming musician. And the lyrics and the music and the visuals, it is, I think, a treat. You watch it and then you can either agree or disagree with me. Okay? Take it away, Peter. I will introduce you after the song. We don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, right? Check.
Good evening, everybody. It is indeed a very honorable privilege for me to be standing in front of all of you beautiful people, singing the theme song on climate change. This is called, Is This the World That We Were Given? Is this the world that we're going to leave for our children?
Don't start. You need to make 2 sessions of VLC first. Open VLC again, 2 sessions. Stop. Drag it to VLC and press the stop button. Try to play so that's then to get then one after the other. First the video, then the sound.
Since we have some technical issues, so I thought I will introduce this young man after the event. But since we have some time, this is Peter Gomes. He's a budding musician. He has his own band called Messengers, and he is the music teacher of Don Bosco Park Circus. So a very talented young boy, fresh out of college and teaching music. Very passionate, very committed, and very talented. So I'm sure you will love him and love his song.
There's no, but the thing is not showing anywhere. No, it will not. My word is not showing. No, we'll figure that out. No, no, it's not that.
This makes me nervous.
Everyone is looking at me as if I am the cause for this. But believe you me, I have nothing to do with it. Huh? If anything, let's blame it on climate change. Anyway, while we are waiting, okay, while we're waiting, I would like to point out a few features since all you school kids were not here yesterday and ma'am was also not here. While we did this climate change conference here in the Oberoi Grand, a lot of people asked us, why are you using a five-star venue to, host something like this? But we thought it was important given the stature and, and because we had a lot of foreign delegates, we wanted to have a comfortable fruitful deliberations. So therefore we decided on that. But in spite of that, you will notice that the temperature here is not too chilled. We've just kept it comfortable. We are not using excess. And there are other things that we took great pains to do. Like you will notice there is no flex. You walk into any program anywhere in Kolkata, the first thing that greets you is flexes all over the place. Miles and miles of flexes. We have not done that. We've got one LED panel which is used for information as well as for publicity purposes. That was the first major change. You girls and boys can go back, and when you all have your events in school, you all should also do something like this. These are small things that go a big way if a lot of people start practicing it. Another thing we did was, you will notice our ID cards. This is just plain ID cards, no lamination. because we need it just for 2 days. It is not as if it is a memento or a keepsake. So what we do, we just made a simple ID card, and that's what we have used. Our writing pads. Our writing pads are just 4 pages thick because you don't need more than that. And it is recycled paper, means it is one-side used paper collected from the schools. I think many of your schools has also contributed this recycled paper. So these are small initiatives that we have taken, and I think they bear fruit. The pens were sanitized, recycled, and reused. I will also draw your attention to these bags. Normally people give you, those laptop bags that, it's convenient, no doubt about it. But we chose to go with a medium that is environment friendly. So we've used cotton canvas bags with coconut shell buttons. So we have done our bit, a little bit, but our bit, no doubt. And I think we are also being graded for being planet friendly, and I think we are going to get an award for that also. So these are small initiatives, but I think they go a long way in making the world a better place. Okay, I think I've bought enough time for the song also.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Okay. Where are the snow-clad mountaintops? Where are my valleys green? Why is the sky all smoky gray with not a star that can be seen? Where are the snow-clad mountaintops? Where are my valleys green? Why is the sky all smoky gray with not a cloud that can be seen? Why are the rivers drying up while all the oceans rise? Weather and climate extremities, the bane of modern times. Is this the world that we were given? Is this the world we live for our children? Where are my days of pure sunshine? Is this the world deserving of mankind?
Look at me. Look at me.
Fossil fuel, greenhouse gases, human activities, global warming, streaming reason causing severities. Burning fuel, burning forests, more than what we need. Development is just a cover for man's unending greed. Is this the world that we were given? Is this the world we live for our children? Where are my days of pure sunshine? Is this the world deserving of mankind? Time is here and time is now to boldly take a dare. Do all it takes to erase our carbon footprints of the air. Clean environments, cleaner living, let our options be. Sun or solar, wind and water, cleaner energy. Bring back the world that we were given. Make this the world we live for our children. Bring back my days of pure sunshine. Make this the world deserving of mankind. Bring back the world that we were given. Make this the world we live for our children. Where are my days of pure sunshine? Make this the world deserving of mankind. Make this the world deserving of mankind. Make this the world deserving of mankind. Let's make this world deserving for you, for me, for everybody, for the entire mankind. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter Gomes. And at the same time, I think, Dilip, you need to stand there and take a bow, because Dilip is the man who's responsible for the music and the lyrics of this. So, Dilip Rosario, our very own, we will not felicitate him because he's part of the core committee and he's done lots more than that. So, thank you, Peter Gomes. All the best. Wonderful. And for those who are interested, this song will be up on our website from this evening. So now that the song has been released, it's got powerful words. You can always use it for your school projects or adapt from it, take it forward. This is the wheel. You don't need to reinvent it. Just use it. Free to use. And now, may I ask Mr. Lars Ben to kindly give us his reflections on this conference so far. Short and sweet.
I did not expect this. Thank you so much, sir. I come late, but it is truly inspiring. I want to congratulate you. I think you have shown today, especially, I mean, I only came today, so I saw really very innovative practices, good practices, on how we can actually not only mitigate climate risk, but also adapt to it. And I think that, and I'm repeating myself, we have to find a way to bring this outside of this room and really to replicate it all over India, not only in West Bengal, not only in Kolkata, but all over India. This is a country of pilot initiatives, and there's so much new initiatives and innovations here. But unless we really bring it to scale, we will not succeed in really achieving these aims of mitigation and also adaptation. So please stay connected, bring us together again. And actually, I want to launch a call as well. From UNICEF side, we have taken an effort to review climate change adaptation plans together with big partners like the Climate Change Alliance for South Asia. And we want actually with you walk the talk, meaning we want to stay connected and bring these good practices and really implement these good plans which have been developed at various state level. So basically I wanted to invite you with our office here, Nasser is here, who is our focal point for disaster risk reduction and climate change, maybe after the elections, because now everyone is busy, to reconvene for a conference and bring from start to the end also the authorities to learn from these good practices and to really walk the talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And please, we need you for a minute. May I ask Father Franklin again? Because all the other main organizers have gone, so you have to keep doing this over and over again. To thank you for your time, for your generosity, for your cooperation, for your collaboration. So thank you very much, and hope that UNICEF continues to partner with us in our endeavors. Thank you very much. And Father Franklin for the declaration of the NCCC.
Declaration sounds a very big word. But what I wish to do in this declaration is place before you basically the commitment of Seva Kendra Calcutta as a little initiative from our part. However, it would be in the form of this little declaration. In this declaration, we express our strong commitment to protect and defend creation. For as Pope Francis says, the earth is our common home. Do we agree to this? If you so agree, please raise your hands. Thank you. We commit ourselves to the promotion of renewable energy and contribute our little mite to the increase of the share of renewable energy sources in the global total primary energy supply. We will support the initiative taken up by the Government of India of Solar Alliance and work with government and private organizations in the field of promoting renewable energy. Do we agree to this? Thank you so much. We firmly believe that increasing the use of renewable energy is an essential element in order to achieve inclusive and sustainable development. Do we agree to this? Thank you very much. That is our fundamental declaration from this conference. And now permit me to place before you a few projects that we wish to take forward or implement from the part of this little organization called Seva Kendra Calcutta. Our big brother is not here, and therefore I do this. Big brother is Caritas India. We will implement renewable energy in 3 remote villages, which includes solar lighting in each house, village street lighting, and build capacities of local women in the maintenance of these. And this is in the next 1 year. 16 rural children's hostels will be lit by solar lights. 16 is chosen because we are in the year 2016. With rooftop standalone systems, senior boys and girls of these hostels will be trained as young technicians. We will create rural entrepreneurship through 200 tribal women in the assembling and marketing various models of solar lamps. They will also be trained to repair the lamps in case of malfunction. 200 other rural women will be trained to assemble and market LED lamps of various wattages. In all this, there is a component of after-sales service. In the area of disaster management, we will train senior students from 6 schools in 24 Parganas North on disaster risk reduction, and this will be children-led disaster risk reduction program. We will engage with children of 30 schools, both urban and rural, in educating them on solar technology and issues of climate change. We will design and promote low-cost water stills, solar water filters, for rural communities, converting pond water into safe drinking water for them. We will train children in 50 hostels on organic farming, for which we have developed 2 model organic farms. And now, together with our partners, that is the ABCD Partners Association of Bengal Collaborators for Development, yesterday we had a little meeting. We decided that we will plant 1 lakh trees in the next financial year, that is April to March next year. My friends, ladies and gentlemen, this is not talk. We will walk this talk, and at the end of the next year, you could challenge me on the implementation of these programs, and you will be happy to hear, yes, we have done it. And now I request you, to each one of you, big and small, however small you may be, to contribute your little mind to change the world in which we live. The world about which not only Sunita Narayan is dreaming, not only Lars Bern is working, and not only you, young children, boys and girls from various schools are longing for. Each one of us should take responsibility for it. It is my job. And I cannot do it alone. I can do it only by joining hands with men and women of goodwill. Are we ready to join hands with each other? Let me hear a resounding yes from this August gathering. Yes. Once again, students. Yes. Once again. Yes. Thank you. We commit ourselves to networking with others to achieve this goal, especially through the partnership initiatives being taken, which contribute to expanding the use of renewable energy. Thank you and God bless.
Well, that was a very optimistic and a very challenging declaration, and I'm sure that we will work very hard to make it happen over the next year. So thank you, Father Franklin, for setting our goals high. And for the final vote of thanks, may I call Dr. Pallab De. Sorry, just before that, this conference has been awarded a planet-friendly certificate by the Earth Points, by Earth Smiles, and I will request Father Franklin to receive this award on behalf of us all at this conference. Father Franklin, and on behalf of EarthSmilesTV, Mr. Farrell Shah will be presenting this award, and maybe he will tell you a little more about this.
This conference just didn't happen these few days. It's been happening for Seva Kendra and Caritas for quite a few months now. And since this was a conference on climate change, something which is green, they made a conscious effort in the run-up to the conference and also wherever they could at the conference to be as green or as planet-friendly as possible. Small ways, like not having bottled water, like those pads and the pens you've seen which are recycled, like cutting down on transport, many small things which you will notice and may not notice. And this has been evaluated by Planet Points, which is a voluntary eco-label, and we're very happy to present Seva Kendra and Caritas, the joint partners, and the others as well, whoever contributed to this conference. Uh, the Planet Points eco-friendly label, or what we call the planet-friendly label, because it's more than eco-friendly. Uh, um, it's something which invites everybody to participate and be part of. So congratulations once again, Father, and I don't know Caritas who is here. Pallav is here, so congratulations on.
Thank you, Fred, and thank you, EarthSmiles. And now the final countdown. We request Dr. Pallav Dey from Caritas India to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay, the show has come to an end, so it's the time for giving vote of thanks from my part. On behalf of the organizing committee, we are thankful to, let me congratulate each one of you for your presence and contribution in making this event a great success. We are thankful to Mr. Scott, British Deputy High Commissioner, for his presence and encouraging lecture. We are thankful to UNICEF, Mr. Lars, Ashadur Rahman, and Nasir for all their support in organizing this event. We are thankful to Mr. Suresh Kumar, Principal Secretary, Disaster Management Department, Government of West Bengal, for his presence and support. Thanks goes to NABARD, West Bengal Regional Office, for their tremendous support for this event. A very big thank you to Ms. Sunita Narayan for sparing her valuable time and joining us for this event from Delhi. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thanks to Professor S.P. Chaudhary for sparing his time to attend this event and share his intellectual thoughts. Thanks to Vincent Moeller and George for your support and interest towards this event. The German experience was really good. The best part perhaps was the change maker session, which I observed. We thank each one of you for sharing your innovation in the change maker session. Our thanks goes to Professor Bishwit Ghosh, Jadavpur University, for all his supports and help towards this event. Thanks also goes to Eminary Government of India and Mr. B. Panda for coming over from Bhubaneswar and be here with us. Thanks to all media persons, especially Mr. Jayanta Bosu and Shubhran Yogi for coming over here. We are very much thankful to all the school administration for allowing their students to be part of this rally this morning and also for the very good session. This was really enriching. This was really wonderful also. Thanks to Mr. Dilip Rosario and team for comprising the theme song. It was really, really good. We thank all our partners of Caritas India for being part of this event and their support also. Thanks goes to Father Olwin De Silva for his thoughts on Lola to See. Finally, thanks goes to Mr. Shunil for his tremendous effort and also Mr. Farrell for the documentation that they have undertaken. Okay, though they are part of the organizing committee. And finally, that's all from my side. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Pallabda. And with that, we come to an end of the National Conference on Climate Change, Kolkata 2016. But this is just the beginning. This is where we go out into the real world and try to act on all. And I would like to, for those Mother Teresa fans in this auditorium, I would like to inform you that the date of canonization has been announced. It is the 4th of September at Vatican. So Mother Teresa is to be canonized. So Calcutta is going to get ready for its round of celebrations in September. Thank you, one and all. Do join us for a cup of tea or coffee. Have a good evening. This is your host, Sunil Lucas, signing off.
Shall I give it to you? No, I may not be here, so he'll be back in a little while. Okay. Then I'll complete.